definitely going to be who I'm looking for as we are going straight into our picks and bans right away. You can see a lot of the bans coming through. Ornn, again, banned out. So the only consistent ban, MF, actually taken away as well. So we are going to see perhaps a new AD carry. The surprising ban, though, I'm looking at is actually that Tarek.
Yeah, well, we've seen Tarek being played a fair bit by Vegan Bandit. Like, he's known for his Tarek, I believe. We see Simp Master picking up the set. You know, it's worked for him in the past. He's played Ornn, he's played Set in these games. He knows the Set is a very strong pick for him, and he's going to pick it. UNSW, again, both picking first pick comfort picks, the Set and the Cogmore for Baddie.
Yep, that is where we are looking right now. As Set, one of the strongest picks in this tournament so far. We've seen him do some crazy things. And a Simp Master, he is that big carry top laner, and him on the Set is definitely going to be a struggle for the University of New South Wales for sure. Kog'Maw Janna bot lane. Now, we haven't seen this since, very, very early in this tournament. In particular, I'm talking about this Janna right now, where Vegan Bandit actually rolled on this champion. So it's not, your top lane Janna. It's most likely going to be a bot lane one, especially there to protect that Kog'Maw. As we could be seeing it all eggs in the Kog'Maw basket composition coming from New South Wales.
Yeah, and we've seen this played in the pod. I'm expecting maybe a J4 in the jungle. We've seen them play, the Kog'Maw, Janna, J4, the Wukong.
Yeah, the reworked Wukong. People have been saying this champion is an absolute monster. It needs to be nerfed. I haven't had the chance to see it in action just yet, so...
Oh, it's rough. He is rough. And yeah, because he was disabled last week, but this week he is available for play, and UNSW, I think, wanting to give that champion a go and really sort of, show off what they can do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But that said, it's going to be run by Ozo in the top lane, and he's the one who really got exposed, I feel like, last week, unfortunately, against the University of Sydney. And then you look at the Murdoch side, Simp Master, I would say, has been the best performing member so far for them. And that does mean, maybe the Wukong is going to be the answer to this set. I'm hoping so. We haven't seen it in competitive play yet, but I'm a little nervous. We'll see how this matchup goes for New South Wales, but Murdoch could be thinking, all right, new champ, doesn't matter. We're still going to crush this top lane, and we're still going to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going for Murdoch in this game. I think UNSW, yes, they played, they started off well and they lost to the UCID, but I think Murdoch's players overall I have more confidence in. Skippy, Simp Master, they've all played very well and consistently, so I'm actually going to be going for Murdoch in this game. I think that the Caitlyn Morgana is going to be very scary. Simp Master piloting that set in the top lane. I don't care if you're throwing a Wukong, if you throw whatever at him. He's shown that he can play that 2v1, 1v1 effectively. So I think Murdoch is going to be okay here, depending on what these last picks are.
I'm already starting to shuffle the cards. So that's kind of, if you see my hands moving, that's what's happening right there. Just really see who the fates are going to decide. Now, cards were right. We were each wrong. Continuing these 50-50 odds always seems to go the way of the odds. And this time we're each going two different directions, as Syndra has been left open. That's going to be a strong pick. I would like to see either the Syndra or the Orianna. Syndra typically more favored over Ori, so nice joke will be on that champ. And that will leave the jungle actually as the last one left. Unless, of course, the Wukong is going into the jungle. That could be a possibility as well. So a bit of a flex right there. However, the reason why I'm assuming top is just because of the fact that the set has been played, but the set can also be flexed. So okay, well, it's going top if that at least gets locked in.
Oh, yeah. It is going top if at least gets picked in. And something to take note of, UNSW here picking 3 out of the 5 champions they played in week 1. So, again, we mentioned they falling back on a bit of comfort. I think, they tried some stuff out. It didn't work out for them. So they're going, hey, we're going to take a step back. We're going to go back to our roots. What our identity was at the beginning of this tournament. It worked for us then. It's going to work for us now. And I think they're trying to fall back on that. Meanwhile, Murdoch picking a very strong team comp with the Malzahar in the mid lane shutting down that Syndra.
I might be the only person on this planet who loves Malzahar games, and I'm excited to see that Hecarim being hovered as well. That would be a fun champion to watch that could be going mid-cam's way. And a lot of unconventional picks in this one, possibly a lot of first. The AP Shyvana is being hovered. That is something we saw last week, actually, I do believe, against Sydney, and it didn't really pan out for him, but another attempt on it this time around, and that actually could mean for sure the Wukong will be going to the top lane. Now comes that moment of truth. Who is actually going to win this game? Because the cards are the ones who decide, and it is Wapam, the red team, New South Wales.
Ooh, I'm still going to go against the heart of the cards. I'm still sticking with my blue side on this one. I think Murdoch can pull this off. I really like their team comp. I think it's going to be very important to see who gets that early bio, who can get those early dragons going. Shyvana obviously has a better early dragon clear and a slightly faster clear, I believe, than Elise. Elise still a notoriously fast clearer.
They're each fast. It's going to be a race, I feel like.
I think it's going to be... I think we're going to see a speed run to gank top lane very early on. And I think that, the junglers are going to be key people to look out for, as they're going to be instrumental in deciding, getting advantages for their team.
Should we call up AGDQ then? Because League of Legends is an awesome game, and these junglers are going to be doing it quick. I've been watching a lot of Doom speed runs recently, not going to lie. So we could be seeing that absolute beast of that. And it's going to be a tough matchup, I feel, for both these teams. Obviously, a lot on the line. I do favor Murdoch's team comp a bit more personally. I think it's a bit safer to play, and always going to lean towards those safer sides, but it's all on those junglers in this early game for sure. They each have that ability to go early, especially in Elise. They are the feast. Like, Elise is always, in my eyes, that quintessential feast or famine champion. Either you're going to have an amazing first 10 minutes and just be an unstoppable force, or just be, a cocoon bot that has like a 50% success rate of actually hitting things.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure for this Murdoch side as a result.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Murdoch to perform, but I have confidence. I have confidence that they can do it. Like we said, both teams have only lost to the top teams currently. Murdoch lost to Swinburne, UNSW lost to UCID. So at the moment, they're actually reasonably even, I feel. They both lost to top teams, so I think this is going to be a slug.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to come down to, like we mentioned, who performs best in the next sort of 40 minutes.
Absolutely, and I think there's just so much pressure on this Murdoch side. If Murdoch wins this, I think they're better off perhaps than if Sydney wins this, just because Murdoch has yet to face against the Sydney side. Sorry, unless New South Wales wins it. Like, going 3-1 for this Murdoch team would be, for my has to be a similar position to Swinburne, where it's like, okay, it's time to actually give the team perhaps a bit more attention than they deserve, because they'd be sitting 3-1, essentially one win away from bursting through that, winning season bubble where they want to be, but dropping here, knowing that they still have perhaps Sydney to come, it means their schedule is going to be hard, and perhaps that road is going to be that much tougher. And it could come down at the end of the day to Murdoch versus Sydney, or versus New South Wales for that last fourth spot. And that's why there's just so much more pressure on this match. Like, this is that game for third place in the standings right now. You win this, you're looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a fun one, that is for sure.
Yeah, no, this game is definitely an important one to put these teams in a advantageous position going forward. If they get these wins, they're going to be in a very good spot. If they don't, they're going to have to claw back harder and harder every week. So every week that they lose another game is another week they have to perform even better, and especially for the side of Murdoch.
Yeah,
they've got a pretty hard lineup coming up.
I mean, definitely you also start to look more towards, that UQ versus... Is it? No, it's not Griffith, is it? UQ's playing... My apologies for this one. I believe, they're playing University of Newcastle. That is going to be the big match, I think, for whoever loses this one. That's going to be whoever wins that one, who they're going to be keeping their eye on, perhaps, for that team to come through in fourth. Murdoch, though, moving as a group of 5, do spot out Ozo, kind of force him out. I like the immediate counterplay coming from the New South Wales side. Ward was dropped by Midcam. He's going to go back, get his sweeper, and more early pressure perhaps going to come from Midcam on this New South Wales side. I'm curious if Anderson is going to do the same on the Elise, although it doesn't look to be the case. He's actually not going to recall, so he'll be sitting on that ward, and that could come back to bite. Skippy already taking a bit of damage, actually, as he took a very risky pathing back to lane in order to try and get that ward down on the Raptor cap, which is already put there. Actually, I'm not sure why he was there. So,
yeah, it's just a bit of a weird positioning, but I think he'll be okay. Malzahar, notoriously safe lane champion. He's going to take a little bit of poke here, but his shield will come up soon enough, and when it does, Nice Joke's not going to have a fun time.
I mean, yes, Malzahar is a safe champion, but he still can't get punished in those first 3 or 4 levels until he really has his full kill available. And even then, it's super mana intensive. If you want to punish a Malzahar pick, you have to do it, I feel, before his first back. And that is something that Nice Joke is already looking to do. As you can see, Skippy is just really trying to, drop, his dot and fall back, but gets poked every time he steps forward. So nice joke playing this lane quite well at this stage. That said, what's more important than this mid lane matchup, I feel, is perhaps bot lane, as a Dark Binding does connect onto Batty, who takes a fair bit of abuse for his mispositioning.
Yeah, and we've seen in this tournament a couple of times, I believe, or maybe at least in the previous tournament last year, how strong Morgana has been in these games, with her ability just to lock teams down repetitively and allow her team to punish hard, like we saw there with Caitlyn. Caitlyn able to punish incredibly hard with those traps with the headshot passive. So if Batty gets hit by another one of them, it's game over for him, as we have a gank here in the top lane.
Oh, Ozo could be in trouble, as Simpmaster already going at it. It's going to flash defensively and possibly give this kill to Anderson. Feast or famine time, the cocoon hits off of the flash, and First Blood goes to the itty bitty spider, and that's the start you want to see if you're a fan of Murdoch.
Oh yeah, like you mentioned, the Feast or Famine playstyle of the Elise. You pretty much have to flip a coin and hope you get Feast. Otherwise, like you mentioned, you're going to be a cocoon bot for the entire game. So really, really good for Anderson there, getting that kill. Going to put him in a good position going forward, as
he's not
Elise
done. Yeah, he's still looking for more right now. That said, though, mid lane is not going to help out, and mid cam is there to protect Nice Joke, and all of a sudden Anderson could be stuck in a bad position. He's going to go ahead and jump over to the Vision cone. So smart play from Anderson to escape what could be bad, and that's what I mean about that mid lane matchup could be a point of exploit for New South Wales. As any other mid laner besides Malzahar, and you might be able to take that fight, but instead Malzahar has to back away. But take a look at the mid lane. Anderson didn't back out. He actually stuck around and is looking to possibly punish Nice Joke at the moment as they're chasing. Elise was going in. We're sort of watching the mini map right now as midcam. Yep, that's a blue buff, and it does look as if Nice Joke was able to escape.
Yeah, I think from what I can tell, Anderson missed a cocoon, and Nice Joke was able to get away. I don't think Nice Joke would have died anyway, but it would have been a lot of damage put down, forcing the back early and out of out of positioning. So Ozo here, also he's in an okay spot. He's got the CS advantage. I haven't seen much of the new Wukong, if I'm honest, so I don't know the matchup's threats and how much Simpmaster on the set has to respect. So I'm interested to see how this goes.
All I can say about the Wukong is I've been trying hard to figure out the correct build on him in TFT, and I still haven't been able to find it. I really want him to be that carry, but I just don't see it in the cards, despite my opinion that Chrono is one of the most underrated traits in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not bad. I say this.
Ducky?
Ducky getting very low there.
Ooh, yeah, that was a little spooky right there for Ducky. He's able to just escape for now, but that could mean some pressure gets put on by Vegan Bandit and Batty. Ducky actually sticking around, and the Dark Binding does connect. Anderson is close. He's not quite there. Meanwhile, up top, Simpmaster winning a big trade against Ozo, but Midcam has returned to try and return the favor. Down below, it is 1-for-1 in the ball. And Simpmaster will go down as well up top, and people just dying left, right, and center. It's actually a 2-for-1. Murdoch wins the fight down below off of the gank. Up top goes New South Wales way, and fights on opposite ends of the map.
Yeah, so pretty much they both capitalized top and bottom on really good ganks, and at the end of that fight, I'm trying to see who probably came out on top. I think Murdoch came out on top of that one. Another kill onto Anderson. Oh, Skippy, that hurts.
Yeah, Skippy, no mana, still in lane. Has to be super careful right here. Like, without the mana, you don't have that wave clear, but sticking around, I feel like, is also kind of telegraphing that Anderson's kind of sitting in the wings a little bit, and you can see the result as Midcam is also coming more towards that mid lane. Granted, it's more to grab the Raptors. Mountain Drake will be our first dragon, similar to our first game of the evening, which means we could be seeing the exact same path, perhaps, as Batty on his own, trying to farm at the moment. Big and Bandit did go ahead and get some vision down, and Batty has to be super careful. Anderson is in the area, has not been spotted, but with no easy gank grabs, nope, he's still going to push forward. Vegan Bandit did take the safe way around, and because of that, we could be seeing Murdoch possibly make that first dragon play.
Yeah, I think that definitely Murdoch is going to be trying to take that initiative here away from Mincam on the Shyvana. That being said, Shyvana has got a 2-level advantage onto Anderson. Whilst Anderson has been getting those kills, Mincam has been farming incredibly hard, as we see nearly double the CS onto Mincam. So I think that right now, Murdoch wants to get that dragon, but I think UNSW is in a decent position.
Ooh, Dark Binding does not connect, and that's a crucial part of CC. Vegan Baggins is still stepping forward, doesn't hit with the tornado, but not matter because Ducky is slowed, and that is an angry dragon in this Morgana's face. Kill is picked up by Midcam, who is looking to get out alive, will be able to do so. Thanks to the tornado, Vegan Baggins was rooted, and Murdoch is looking for that re-engage, but Skippy could be too far out despite having the ultimates available, and New South Wales, they get the gank, get the pick, but their health bars perhaps could be too low to contest this dragon. Meanwhile, up top, actually, another fight going down, and Simpmaster and Ozo going at it. Ultimates were used, and a nice flash knockup, but here comes the showstopper. It's not going to make the save, and Ozo wins a critical 1v1.
Yeah, and there's the joy of having 2 Wukong ultis. So, pretty much when they reworked the champion, they went, you know what's better than 1? 2. So Wukong now being able to double up on that ulti, putting a lot of damage down, especially with that Corrupting Pot and the Vamp Scepter, keeping him alive pretty hard. I'm surprised, though, I will say, I'm surprised Murdoch didn't capitalize on the low health bar of Mincam and try and take that dragon early, or did they grab it? No, they didn't grab it. I would have thought they would have tried to grab that really quickly. Oh, no,
Dark Binding under tower. They're committing for this tower dive. Nightmare does have the damage, but it's going to take a lot of tower shots for it. And here comes an angry Kog'Maw. Doesn't quite have the range. Ducky also barely surviving, so they get the kill. They don't get the plating. It's something. I don't think it's the worst situation for New South Wales, but if you're Murdoch, I mean, that's a great momentum swing in your favor. And get those kills on Nightmare, get this Caitlyn scaling. Bad times could be in New South Wales' future.
Oh yeah, especially when you take into consideration the fact that, you know, Bandit is one of the, they've gone for the safe bot lane pick, so they're trying to get Batty as fed as possible and get him in that hyper carry position. And right now, Caitlyn and I would also just specifically point out the Morgana has played incredibly well and has landed some insane bindings, catching out UNSW and getting a couple of kills.
After our first game, too, it's very interesting to see such a high kill count in this one. I mean, we're nearly averaging a kill a minute, just under that at this stage. And it's still very, very even. New South Wales has a small gold lead, but that only really comes from really the Dragon at this stage, as well as a couple platings, I believe, down in the bot lane as Deacon Bandit continuing to give Batty some support. Waves going to be continuing to push down below. Up top as well, Waves are starting to show up, and really lane advantages going this New South Wales way. You do have a Rift Herald up. That's going to be that next big objective, but both junglers are kind of on the opposite end of the map, so not a lot of pressure right there, as I do believe this might start slowing the pace of this game down. Yeah,
I think we're going to reach that sort of mid-game point, like that early game point, where both teams are going to try farm. It's going to be a lot of jungle movement, trying to catch people out. Ducky Freeze in the lane here, putting UNSW in a poor position with Anderson on the way. So like we said, we're going to see a lot more jungle pressure, forcing fights. But something to take note of, Mincam is in that bot side river, so counter ganks are in potential, availability.
That said, too, we're also seeing the question mark pings from New South Wales actually being thrown up on the top side of the map, so they could be thinking that Anderson is up there as opposed to down below. And that said, Anderson taking his time. Skippy could be in a bit of trouble. Ultimate thrown down. Scatter the Weak needs to connect, but it's not going to come through, and Skippy does able to flash to safety. Near pick right there for New South Wales. That could have been huge.
Yeah, no, that could have been really big if that landed. Pretty decent ulti from the Malzahar, though, at least stalling out the extra Q or the W coming out from Nice Jokers. That could have been very hurtful. And that kill could have really turned mid lane around a little bit. They've already got the CS advantage onto the... Oh, no.
Yeah, well, this is the result of that mid play, essentially. It does mean Midcam can start to invade, as, they have priority in both mid and bot lane at the moment, but Midcam is unable to get the damage down onto Anderson, does get his flash out, and that flash is being burned left, right, and center at the moment for Murdoch University. New South Wales has to be happy for that. Binding misses, which means Batty gets a couple free shots in onto Ducky. Pace has slowed down, we're starting to see that jungle influence coming into play, taking advantage, I suppose, of some of the solo lane matchups going one way or the other. And I do like how New South Wales is kind of, pushing every little advantage, getting more and more forward. Skippy's in trouble. Nice Joke's gonna flash forward, get that last auto off, and get himself a solo kill.
Yeah, and now Nice Joke is in a really nice position, he's just about to hit that 100 CS point. He's got a decent amount, 77-ish, 33 roughly more than Skippy, who I actually am being, if I'm reading Twitch chat correctly, is not actually Skippy, but it's Monkey. I believe Monkey is playing on the account.
calling a player a monkey can sometimes be an insult, so until I'm kind of told by my producer or someone upstairs, I'm going to keep on calling him what name is seen right there. I don't want to accidentally insult a player, so...
Oh, it's not monkey, but yes. I believe he's played before, but we'll say Skippy for now. We can't confirm nor deny.
Absolutely.
Either way, it's been unfortunate for Malzahar there, getting caught out. As we see, you know, Syndra does a lot of damage. Surprise, surprise. He got caught out without the spell shield, and he got punished for it. As we have Mincam taking the Herald.
Yeah, Herald will be picked up by University of New South Wales, courtesy of Ozo, just shoving in that top lane, so you have top priority. Don't have mid priority, but that's well and truly enough, as Anderson again is on the bot lane as a fight is being forced out right now. Ducky just walking forward and popping that ultimate, has to go golden to stay alive, and Anderson wasn't quite there in time. The minions are in the way, so no Cocoon's going to come through, and New South Wales dodge and engage, get some pressure on the opposite end of the map, and this is what you need to do if you want to, you know, play opposite ND's League of Legends mid-cam, as well as also they're looking to take that top lane advantage into the mid lane. Meanwhile, Nightmare, though, one or two more autos might be able to bring down Batty. Here comes the ace in the hole, but the heal is used to make the save, so Batty will stay alive. Ozo teleporting in behind, though, and here comes the Cyclone. It's knocking everyone up, secures the first kill. Where is Cyclone number 2? Well, it's not connecting anything as he is stunned in place by the Cocoon. The return damage coming from Midnight's not enough to get the kill. Ozo staying alive. Anderson has to try and repel to stay up and it gets that last big bite down onto the monkey, but he is unable to escape as Batty returned to the fight, gets himself the kill at the end of it, and a great turnaround for this red side in the mid lane. Herald is dropped, and that's going to be mid power going in favor as well. New South Wales, they're taking everything.
Yeah, in the last sort of 30 seconds, UNSW just managed to turn everything on its head. You know, they got that really nice TP there into the double kill, or the double ulti, I mean. Missing the second one barely as Anderson cocoons him. But the damage being put out and the lifesteal, we saw him rush that Vamp Scepter, so he's going for that survivability. Anderson picking up the kill there, which, you know, another good kill onto the Elise, putting them in a good position, but at the end of the day, UNSW getting a lot out of that fight, and I think they're very happy with what just happened.
Ooh, Dark Binding steal attempt doesn't come through for Ducky, as Infernal Drake is taken, and it's the same Dragon order as the first game. Called it.
Yeah,
Now
I believe we're just rinse and repeating on this one. So we have the Cloud Drake. I think that the Cloud Drake's going to be really big onto both of these teams, if we're being honest. But neither of the junglers, I think, is affected by it. I believe the only like Transformer type ultimate that's affected by it is Udyr, if I'm not mistaken. Udyr specifically changing 10% faster with each Cloud Drake, but even so, on Batty, on Vegan, on, you know, Nice Joke, those ultimates are getting it really low, and especially when you take into consideration the double ulti of Ozo, you're going to be getting a lot of bang for your buck if they can get those Cloud Drakes and Cloud Souls.
Yeah, I mean, I think the small ultimate cooldowns actually most affect the top lane right now with the Showstopper and the Cyclone up there with Simpmaster and Ozo, and we've already seen them willing to commit for 1v1 fights, so that's where my intention is going to be. That said, though, it won't be a bit more relevant until after, you know, the first couple dragons do come through and Baron becomes a key player on the map. At the moment, you know, both these teams, neither of them really trying to force too much out of way. I mean, this has still been a pretty bloody game. There's been a lot of fights, all of them really happening down in this bot lane as Murdoch, again, just sending everyone down to try and slow this Batty push, but it's been coming at the cost of everywhere else on the map at this stage, and I'm worried for Murdoch if they've, like, maybe overcommitted to, like, this bot side strong lane strategy, and it's costing them everything else.
Yeah, you know, I think you might be right with that one. You know, they've gone for a very team fight slash ice, like, lockdown style, you know, mid lane, top lane jungle. And I think that they put all their eggs in the Caitlyn, which, you know, started to go well. But this doesn't look like it's
This is bait. You've got to be aware this is bait. Here comes the Dragon. Midcam eats Ducky alive. It's going to get in Nightmare's face as well. On the backside, Batty doing what he can. That is just a clean 3 kills going to New South Wales. They hung that fat little pug out in front of everyone, and Murdoch bit, and as a result, they lose big in the bot lane.
Mincam, I'm pretty sure, almost just one-shot Nightmare there with the Dark Harvest E. That was disgusting. Watch the damage put out by this dragon. Boom. Half HP gone. Oh, that was... And see, that's the problem right now, is Anderson, yeah, Anderson's strong, but I don't know if Anderson is one-shotting people, you know, with one ability. So, I think it's going to be a hard game for him to catch up.
Yeah, and he started up so strong. However, Mincam on the Shyvana. This is the Shyvana we wanted to see last week against Sydney. This is why they, you know, prioritized this pick, and it's coming through in spades. Meanwhile, Ozo on this Wukong, a bit of a redemption week for himself as well, as all this was going on, he is continuing to punish that Simp Master up top. And New South Wales, yeah, they had a rough one last week, but they're starting to bounce back. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because this is looking very similar to what we saw in our first game, and we saw how long that one went as Ozo, he's going straight after Nightmare right now. My screen was frozen, and when it unfreezes, we see everyone has disengaged. Okay.
Yeah, Ozo just trying to get a little bit of poke there, but the slow coming out from the Storm Razor, keeping Nightmare safe enough that, you know, Ozo can't keep pushing that fight. It has to peel back. So a decent position for him. You know, Baddie being a little more cautious, you know, checking that, hey, those death pushes are a very real threat with the likes of, you know, the Malzahars, with the likes of Anderson. So respecting that that's a problem. As it seems like we're just going to see a little bit of lane swapping here as people are stalling out for the next dragon to get some items, and then to Baron.
I mean, it's this Kog'Maw already has that Trinity first. It's getting some of that armor pen as well with the serrated Dirk, and with Baron spawning in a couple of minutes. More importantly, the Rift Herald actually might come up before then. Definitely New South Wales wants to get their strong side to the top end of the map. What I find hilarious is really both, you know, the Wukong as well as the Kog'Maw can be considered strong sides based on how this game has been going. As Anderson is stepping forward, maybe they found right here. Showstopper lands on the Vegan Bandit, but Midcam is there to cut off the Spider, and all of a sudden this set is on his own in a fight that he does not want to be in. He's running the wrong way. Those artillery shots doing so much work as Baddie is one auto from getting this kill. Kapoop! There it goes. So the Simp Master falls on the other side. It doesn't look as if Midcam was able to find Anderson, but the damage is done, and the Herald should be going New South Wales' way.
Yeah, and really good positioning on the side of Mincam there, popping over the wall right as Simp Master goes in for the ultimate, cutting off any assistance from Anderson, pretty much confirming a kill for Baddie, which is exactly what Murdoch did not want.
Yeah,
we're going to ignore that Dark Binding.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think Joke is, because he's going to punish instead. Yeah, you know, you want to ignore it, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just too juicy. However, Nice Joke may have overstayed his welcome. Ace in the Hole's going to do a fair bit of damage, but the shield from Vegan Bandit at the nick of time means that's actually not doing anything at all. Baddie left on his own is going to keep on pushing on the top side. The Rift Herald was picked up and secured by one Mincam as well. And New South Wales doing a very, very good job in starting to accelerate this lead.
Yeah, you know, they're doing a really good job right now, doing what they need to do to get this fight and get this game in their corner. You know, right now, if you look on the side of UNSW, they no, Baddie. You might have overstayed your welcome slightly, buddy.
Yeah, he may have. I mean, Simp Master, just one more punch will get it done. And all right, a kill picked up. But yeah, that is actually very surprising to see Baddie sticking around for that long. You'd have to think that is going to be where Murdoch is going to go, especially with Baron about to spawn. There's no way they could really challenge that Cloud Drake. So maybe not the cleanest game at the end of the day, as Oso, though, is still looking for that 1v1 at the moment. On to Anderson, the second Cyclone knocking up. One more auto should be able to do it. But a clutch suppression coming from Skippy turns things around, and New South Wales give up 2 kills with kind of some greedy plays.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ulti coming out of Skippy there, right as Ozo flashes for the auto. He gets the ulti locked down. That is tragic for him. And I believe we may see... No, he opted for the Yomu's Ghostblade pickup. I thought that Baddie was actually going to be building into the Edge of Night for a bit of, you know, spell shield and protection from Skippy, from Anderson, etc. From Ducky. I thought that Edge of Night was going to get built there. But no, he's opted instead for the Yomu's Ghostblade. Still a very good item as we have another fight.
Oh, yep. Here comes an Angry Dragon, but Showstopper throwing everyone back into the middle of it. Simp Master on the set. He tried to do his work, but unfortunately he's unable to stay alive as teleport means Ozo is joining the fight, and he is speeding right towards everyone. Was caught by the Dark Binding, but that's only slowing Skippy, surviving a lot of balls stacking him in the face. Meanwhile, Nightmare is running for his life straight down the middle, is able to walk away for now, but off of 2 picks, New South Wales, they're looking up at a Baron.
Yeah, and Mincam there looking like he was about to get caught out and then deleting 2 people off the face of the map, showing it just how far ahead this UNSW side is. And, you know, and what this means now is they're going to get the Baron, and with the Yomu's Ghostblade pickup for Baddie, he can actually push side lanes pretty safely now. He can't get caught out as easily. So I think they're really opting for maybe a 1-3-1 scenario, or even just, you know, they're just going to go for the straight 5v5 in one lane, force it out, and just try crack the base.
Yeah, I mean, the world is the oyster for University of New South Wales at this stage, or I forgot how that phrase actually went. It's like, yeah, the world's your oyster or something like that. I'm not sure. Either way, New South Wales, you know, they're feeling pretty good. They've got themselves an 11K lead. That's 1K more than what we saw from Swinburne, who around this time of the game, things started to go a little bit pear-shaped for them. Fortunately, they were able to bring it back, and now I'm looking at New South Wales, a team that could potentially be challenging Swinburne for that second place standings. Let's see how well they can close it out against Murdoch, as they are already moving as 5. They're looking to step. They're posturing a lot more aggressively than we saw at our previous game, and Mincam already going in onto Ducky. The damage is not, yes, it is enough to bring him down, but the showstopper is going to find one right back. Up the top, though, is one Batty, and he's getting so many autos down, but he's caught out of position as Anderson's actually going to find him. Batty will eventually go pop, get some more farm at the end of it, and that's a 3 for 2. New South Wales wins, but it wasn't the cleanest fight.
No, it wasn't the cleanest fight, but I think they can still do what they need to do here. Unfortunately for them, Batty did die, which is one of their big siege champions. But even so, I think they're still in a fine position.
Yeah, Ozo still wants to go ahead and drop some Cyclones, and look how quickly Skippy gets melted. Nightmare on the run. Ozo still going to go under towers, and he stays up actually, and Ducky doesn't connect with the Dark Binding. Ozo still will have to fall back. They do get that mid tower. They should be getting the mid inhibitor as well, and then probably making a hasty retreat. So New South Wales, it was a fight won by the skin of their teeth. However, they get everything they can from it.
Yeah, they get everything they can get from that. You know, we see the strength of the Bruiser build on the Wukong. They're opting for the Blade of the Ruin King second item. So right now he is doing a lot of damage and is not going to die very easily. So I think Ozo is going to be a character to look out for, as that Wukong is a scary, scary character right now.
Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and pick up the Scuttlebug. On the backside was one mid-cam, and yep, every sort of thing buffs cleared out as University of New South Wales retreat. They're just not giving Murdoch anything to play with at this stage, and that's what you need to do to close out games. I hope Swinburne is still watching and taking some notes in this one, and maybe learning how they could close games out a bit more crisply. That said, Murdoch, they're not giving up just yet. They're still looking for plays. They are aware Batty is in the area, perhaps, but Batty is just buying time, waiting for Vegan Bandit to show up. Numbers in Murdoch's favor. I'm a little worried. Is University of New South Wales walking into a trap? They should see Batty on his own right now. Nope, the calls still go through.
Yeah, it's really weird there for Murdoch not opting to not take the fight there. They had advantage. Maybe they were worried that Mincam or someone else who was off the map was waiting around too. But it looks like UNSW is just going to try and push this advantage again. Siege mid lane, whilst also, you know, rotating back. There's a fight opening up.
That's not where Ozo wants to be, yet University of New South Wales, they're still running straight into it. Simmaster is the target, Batty has arrived. He is just two-shotting everyone in this fight. However, the last kill will be taken by Nice Joke. That is the ace. That is the game. It was a supposed pick in the jungle, but it was a trap all along. And New South Wales secure themselves third place, I should say, in this tournament moving forward.
See, this is what a 10,000 gold league's supposed to look like. This is what it's supposed to look like. Just complete and utter desolation on the side.